The human body is a shifting frontier of adaptability. We dive into the narratives of 10 individuals whose existence redefines biological and anatomical limits. Their stories of uniqueness, courage, and resilience reveal the stunning diversity of the human form, as well as the power and fragility of our physical shell. Number 10. Adrienne Lewis, the longest lingual protrusion. Adrienne Lewis, a Michigan native, gained worldwide celebrity thanks to an anatomical feature so improbable that it was initially met with skepticism: the longest tongue ever recorded in a woman. Officially measured at over 10 centimeters, 4 inches, from the tip to the base, this lingual protrusion far exceeds biological norms. Adrienne's rise to notoriety was unplanned. She first shared videos demonstrating her disconcerting ability to reach her nose, and then, even more astonishingly, her eye. This visual feat exploded on social media. Far from hiding, Adrienne embraced her genetic gift, transforming this distinctive trait into a personal brand. Her self-assurance and ability to perform stunning feats, such as drinking from a bowl without using her hands, have solidified her status, turning an anatomical rarity into a platform for international celebrity and self-confidence. Number 9. Svetlana Pankratova, the longest lower limbs. Svetlana Pankratova, born in Russia, is the embodiment of the extreme variability of human growth, holding the female record for the world's longest legs. Each limb exceeds 132 centimeters, 52 inches, an extraordinary proportion that dominates her total height of 196 centimeters, 6 feet 5 inches. Aware of this atypical growth, Svetlana quickly capitalized on her difference on the sports fields. She became an exceptionally talented basketball player, using her unique reach and wingspan to obtain a university scholarship in the United States. Nevertheless, living with legs of such length generates significant daily logistical difficulties. Finding fitted clothing or sitting comfortably in restricted spaces are constant challenges in a world designed for standard sizes. Recognized by the Guinness Book of Records, Svetlana Pankratova is celebrated for her humor and positive acceptance of her uniqueness. She uses her visibility to encourage others to cherish and be proud of the traits that make them different, transforming her physical anomaly into a powerful symbol of confidence and resilience. Number 8. Romario dos Santos Alves, the dangerous quest for synthol. The story of Romario dos Santos Alves, a Brazilian bodybuilder, is a cautionary tale illustrating the dangers of the excessive and rapid quest for muscle mass. Seeking to surpass the limits of natural training, Romario turned to a controversial and dangerous injectable substance, synthol. It is crucial to note that synthol is not an anabolic steroid promoting real muscle growth, but a filler product composed mainly of oil, analgesics, and alcohol. It is injected directly to inflate the volume of existing muscles without improving their strength or density. The results on Romario were quick and spectacular, his arms reaching the circumference of a human head. However, this extreme transformation quickly turned into a medical nightmare. His limbs became extremely hard, painful, and prevented him from accomplishing simple tasks. The synthol, hardened in the muscle tissues, threatened blood circulation and generated potentially fatal complications. Faced with the medical ultimatum of amputation, Romario fortunately ceased the injections and underwent complex surgical procedures to remove the solidified material. His story serves as a poignant warning against the deadly shortcuts taken in the pursuit of extreme body aesthetics. Number 7. Mandy Sellers, unilateral limb hypertrophy. From her birth in Lancashire, Mandy Sellers presented with an abnormal growth of her lower limbs. Her case was marked by an exponential and dramatically disproportionate hypertrophy of her legs. For years, doctors were perplexed, initially attributing her disorder to Proteus syndrome. characterized by excessive tissue growth. In Mandy's case, this hypertrophy was extreme. At its peak, her left leg weighed over 90 kilograms, more than 200 pounds. Daily life, whether moving around or finding clothes, was a constant battle. But Mandy demonstrated exceptional strength of character. In 2010, medical complications became too severe, requiring the amputation of her left leg above the knee. What should have solved the problem was the beginning of a new mystery. The remaining part of her leg started to grow again, and the tissue growth continued uncontrollably. Scientists re-examined her case and discovered that she had a unique and even rarer genetic mutation than Proteus syndrome, explaining this uncontrollable growth. After receiving a prosthesis, Mandy Sellers learned to walk again. She became a public figure, using her visibility to convey a powerful message. Difference is not a weakness, but a daily challenge that deserves to be faced with dignity. Number 6. Annie Hawkins Turner, natural mammary hypertrophy. Annie Hawkins. Turner holds the world record for the largest natural breasts, a characteristic resulting from a medical condition known as gigantomastia. This is a rare disorder where the body continues to produce breast tissue well beyond normal growth periods without any surgical intervention. Growth in Annie began very early and never stopped. It is estimated today that each of her breasts weighs over 18 kilograms, about 40 pounds. This extreme weight is the equivalent of constantly carrying a heavy dumbbell on each side of her body, which exerts constant pressure on her skeleton. Beyond the spectacular visual aspect, gigantomastia is a source of severe medical complications. Annie suffers from intense chronic back and neck pain, as well as sleep disorders, caused by the strain on her spine. While for many people with gigantomastia, breast reduction is a vital necessity, Annie Hawkins Turner has always refused the operation. She embraced her unique form with admirable confidence, refusing to conform to societal norms. Despite the discomfort and intrusive attention, Annie channeled this visibility into a public career, becoming an icon for self-acceptance and the celebration of body diversity in its most extreme form. Number 5. Gary Turner, maximum skin elasticity. Gary Turner, nicknamed the Elastic Man, is officially recognized as the man with the world's most stretchable skin. This native of England can stretch the skin of his stomach up to more than 15 centimeters, 6 inches, without feeling the slightest pain, an astonishing visual feat that he performs on stage. This ability is the result of a rare and incurable genetic disease, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS. EDS is a group of disorders that affect connective tissues, specifically disrupting the production and organization of collagen. In Gary, the collagen lacks the usual rigidity, making his skin incredibly pliable, thin, and elastic. Instead of hiding, Gary Turner transformed his condition into a lucrative career, becoming a recognized show performer in 2004 by the Guinness Book of Records. However, it is essential to remember that EDS is not just a carnival curiosity. Gary's joints are often unstable and hypermobile, forcing him to exercise constant caution to avoid serious injuries and dislocations. Despite this underlying medical vulnerability, Gary Turner has made peace with his genetic reality. He embodies the transformation of a rare medical challenge into a source of identity and celebrity, proving that an unusual trait can be converted into a distinctive strength. Number 4. Jason Rodriguez, the most severe foot hypertrophy. Jason Rodriguez, from Venezuela, is the man who possesses the largest feet ever recorded on the planet. His left foot measures approximately 40 centimeters, 16 inches long, and the right is barely shorter. Such dimensions require shoes that are literally larger than the forearm of most adults. From childhood, the abnormal growth of his feet was a source of growing difficulties. Buying shoes in traditional stores quickly became impossible. As an adolescent, Jason was forced to wear rudimentary protections, often made of hand-stitched fabrics, solely to avoid injury while walking. These gigantic feet made walking painful and difficult, and the problems were not just practical. The impossibility of wearing shoes properly forced Jason to feel ashamed and to try to hide his feet. The dissemination of his story attracted international attention. A specialized shoe company in Germany took the initiative to custom-make shoes for him, free of charge. This event was a turning point. For the first time, Jason could walk comfortably and stand with dignity. By being officially recognized by the Guinness Book of Records, Jason Rodriguez transformed a source of embarrassment into a narrative of resilience, symbolizing the power of external aid to adapt the world to the needs of the most different individuals. Number 3, Pauline Potter, the struggle for extreme mobility. Pauline Potter made headlines when she was named the heaviest living woman in the world, her weight exceeding 270 kilograms, more than 600 pounds. Such a weight led to an almost total loss of autonomy. She could no longer walk, dress herself, and her movements within her own home were drastically limited, often confining her to bed. Although the public eye tends to simplify such cases to mere overeating, Pauline's story is infinitely more nuanced. She revealed that her reliance on food was a form of self-medication in response to deep emotional pain, loneliness, and past traumas. Her body, trapped in a devastating cycle for reasons both biological and psychological, could no longer regulate this weight gain. Despite the enormous difficulty and the stigma often associated with her condition, Pauline Potter made the courageous decision to open up to the world. She used media platforms not for celebrity, but as a desperate plea for help, seeking the tools and support needed to regain control of her life. Her journey is a testament to a fierce struggle. Starting to lose weight and regain mobility at this level is a slow, painful, and chaotic process. Pauline continues to fight, and it is this vulnerability and determination to get moving again that make her story particularly significant. Number 2, Lee Redmond, the fragility of a 30-year patience. The story of Lee Redmond is one of extraordinary dedication and patience. In the late 1970s, she decided out of curiosity to stop cutting her nails. This experiment turned into a commitment of over 3 decades. At the time of her official recognition by the Guinness Book of Records, the total length of her nails cumulatively reached 8.65 meters, 28 feet and 4 inches, a dimension greater than that of a pickup truck. Lee maintained her nails with extreme meticulousness, caring for them to prevent breakage. Maintaining such a length required a radical adaptation of daily life. She had developed special techniques to accomplish complex tasks, such as brushing her teeth or driving, using her hands with extreme caution and slowness. For Lee, her nails were not mere accessories. They were the intrinsic symbol of her identity, her discipline, and her perseverance. However, in 2009, her extraordinary record ended tragically and suddenly. Lee Redmond was involved in a serious car accident. Although she was not seriously injured, the impact broke all her nails. In the space of a few seconds, 30 years of work, which defined her identity and status, was annihilated. The loss, although physical, was primarily emotional, marking the irreversible end of an era of extreme dedication. Her story is cited as an eloquent example of the fragility of human records in the face of the whims of fate. Number 1. Rumeysa Gelgi, the tallest living woman. Rumeysa Gelgi, a native of Turkey, led an extraordinary existence from childhood due to accelerated growth. She is today recognized as the tallest living woman in the world, reaching a monumental height of over 213 centimeters, over 7 feet. Her stature is caused by Weaver syndrome, a rare genetic disorder characterized by excessive growth that begins before birth. This syndrome is often accompanied by skeletal anomalies and, crucially, mobility difficulties. In Rumeysa's case, walking has become painful and difficult, requiring the regular use of a walker, a wheelchair for her daily movements. Living at such a height involves facing constant challenges, whether it's adapting environments, door frames, furniture, or the insistent stares of the public. Rumeysa Gelgi, however, refused to be defined by her illness or her height. She chose visibility to become a fervent advocate for the acceptance of diversity. She actively uses her unique platform to raise awareness of Weaver syndrome and other rare diseases. Her commitment has allowed her to transform a difficult condition into a mission of inspiration, championing the message that uniqueness is a strength and that every body deserves to be seen and accepted. Number 11. The moment of unforeseen cases. His name was Memphis. One day, illness struck. His sex became heavier, imposed itself, became a burden and the gaze of others. What some called a privilege became an ordeal. Memphis then understood that true power is not the body, but the way one carries what one does not choose. These extreme narratives demonstrate that anatomy is never definitively fixed. From genetic constraint to voluntary pursuit, these individuals embody the extraordinary strength of the human spirit to accept, transform, and celebrate what is fundamentally different.